The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
You know we're getting rid of cold opens ultimately. Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah?
In the new system.
What?
Because we're going to make pods
Live.
like as live, like
Put them on
get 'em out,
YouTube.
get them out
Put
the
them
door.
on YouTube.
Kia ora te whānau. Welcome to The Real Pod. It is the end of the year. We are coasting/crawling to Christmas and we're nailing it in a bit. We are.
No, I don't reckon. I reckon like it's the silly season, but we're actually doing more research and docking than we've ever done before.
When we say we, let's clarify. It's Alex doing all the work here.
Is it?
The way you've just said that.
How much have you inputted into this?
Looked in this.
I actually did some
sorry,
writing
just looking
into
for
it.
edits by Duncan Grieve. Oh, you have?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay.
Late
Yeah.
clutch play.
Is it because you? Is it when
Wasn't
you wrote
late.
"Oh my
I-
god, yes" next to something?
No, that was me.
Okay. Thank God.
Okay, my name's Janie, joined by Alex Casey and Duncan Grieve. We've got Samuel in the studio as well, making this all sound good, hopefully. It's only so much you can do, though, eh? Polish a turd. And this is your reality TV and pop culture and Aotearoa podcast. But today, it's listicle time. Again, we're pumping out the end of year best ofs, and today it's the best of the real news for 2022. Or at least just some real news from
Can you explain
2022.
what real news is? Because I'm never quite sure.
It's just news that we know the cornies, it's the news they want to hear.
It's odd stuff. It's if Odd Stuff and Spy
And celebrity stuff.
had a baby.
Yes.
And also had a whole lot of animals and stuff and
The odd spy farm.
Gourds?
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, that's half the podcast gone, but
Oh, I really reckon it.
Okay, but I reckon we just get into it. Let's just get into it. Is it weird to start the real news with what we would normally finish a show on? And just like go out from a sting straight into another sting?
it's a silly season. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's crash on in.
Like and subscribe.
Max Key Corner. I know, I'll never forget you.
Like and subscribe.
Big news, perhaps the biggest in terms of our interests. Max Key made a return this year in a big way.
Multiple returns, really.
Yes. He's on the TikTok, back on Instagram. He's in the jiu-jitsu ring, whatever that's called, on the mat.
Octagon?
He's on the digger outside doing construction in houses.
Is he actually on the digger?
For the TikTok,
For
he
a
is.
joke.
Yeah.
Dressed as Batman.
Dresses
to,
to
the
best mates with the Chow brothers. Like, there is a lot going on.
It's a thrilling return to public life.
Wow.
How long was he off our radar? Was it
like at least a year.
Years?
I feel like the Penny D, he was just done.
Now he is swole as all get out.
Yeah, even by his previous, before he was like lean and now he's swole.
Yeah, he's actually looks like he's about to burst. He's so swole.
Wow.
It's kind of terrifying.
Where are these pics? Sorry.
In the corner, a lot of the time. That's where I see them. The corner, by the way, as much as Alex and Duncan would tell you, I don't need to tell you what it is the Real Pod Corner. It's our Facebook community. You can find the link in the show notes. You can also jump on our Discord where lots of discussion, live chat happens. It's a great place to go. That's a link to that also in the show notes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot. Samuel's just pulled up
an image.
the rig.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and he's blonde. Gosh, he really looks like a lot of the boys on F-Boy Island. If they all kind of combined. And he's got interesting shorts.
Okay, so Max Key,
give me a minute.
he's become a jiu-jitsu champion of sorts. He's become some sort of housing developer of sorts. Yeah, didn't he do really well in some...
I can imagine he would get the best training.
And he's back, baby. I don't know, we probably don't need to labour on this too much longer, do we? Just a summary? Anything else to add?
I mean, I think that I liked the part of his journey that was property developer in Point Chevalier.
Oh, yes.
Where he just sort of left an abandoned house kind of in a bin and it just sort of blew across the road.
But it was sort of as well, it was kind of the meeting of, or the opposite, whatever the opposite of meeting of minds is, of two lots of people that, like, you don't really, you feel no empathy for either of them. Because the people in Point were like, oh, you're ruining our lovely outlook to the ocean with this house that's not been painted in the last 3 years, versus I'm just leaving an empty lot here being not developed, So I find it difficult to sympathise either way.
It was like Max Key as an agent of intensifying the leafy suburbs. So, we've got Yimbys versus the Keys. I also think we should linger on this, like... It's really buzzy to me. Like the Chow brothers, for those of you who don't know, like for most of the 2000s, they were like almost like comic book villains. They were proud brothel owners during a time when there was a lot more kind of consternation around, like that sort of industry.
Yeah, and for Easter, literally dressed up as a comic book villain with Max Key and dressed up as the Joker.
Which is very good. But they also like bought this inner city kind of building, this like iconic heritage listed building, and basically let it fall down. Like they were genuinely like, if the Chow brothers were in a story, it was for villainy. And now they're just like associated with New Zealand's first family. It's weird. Like why don't we don't talk enough about how weird that is.
How did they meet? How did this happen?
Money.
Money
it's
meetings.
Definitely at the ATM.
In Parnell, just to be clear. It's also kind of weird how, like, you can be the Prime Minister and then just suddenly all bets are off. Like, you can just go, and it's a little bit like what Simon Bridges did as leader of the opposition and then no longer in politics. And just like...
Just podcasting in here.
You can go back, you can go off and be like a weird normie who's not accountable for anything anymore and just let loose and be... Like, John's, he's featuring a lot on Max's social media again in ways that, like, he never would have as Prime Minister.
I interviewed recently Bruce Lee of Bruce Lee Sushi and Rolls, who you'll be familiar with, and he famously has this big wall of celebrity sushi rolls. On his list for 2023 is John Key. He's like, I've been badgering him for years, and I think it's time now. I think I've broken him down, and John Key is going to get on board Bruce Lee Sushi.
He needs to make it cool.
You don't get to do that when you're in power,
yeah.
That's when you're over. He's also still got Manu Vatuvai on the wall.
Oh,
and he gets complaints, but he says people are allowed to make mistakes, and they can keep their sushi wall. They can keep the sushi roll, sorry.
What was Manu convicted of in the end?
Drug stuff.
Well, that's fine, isn't it?
I think on a sort of maybe like a supply level. Oh, this is allegedly.
I don't know.
So tense. This is very tense.
I just want to say as well, I'm happy that Max Key's back. I'm happy that we get to talk about him. I miss the music.
Yeah.
I do miss that 2017 era where he was trying to be a vlogger, where he was releasing these crazy music videos. I'm trying to remember. I can't find it anywhere. There was that really funny intro to his first ever song about him, like, traveling the world and realizing stuff, and it was so earnest and had really funny phrasing, and I just cannot remember.
And it had his then girlfriend at the time in the video as well.
Max Key is living like this kind of quintessential New Zealand life, extremely in public. Like, the vlogger to sort of influencer to I'm going to try and button down and be like a studious trader to, I actually want to be like hulked out and property developer, which I think is aspirational for a whole thread of New Zealand. Like it is quite beautiful.
I miss the music too. You're right, I miss the music.
It was just a fun time, and I feel like, this was pre-pandemic. This was when people were trying to be influencers.
It was the before times.
Oh, wow.
Hey, just on Manu, just so that we're clear, it was pretty bad what he did. It was It was smuggling meth.
I guess meth is the bad one,
It's
isn't
the
it?
bad one. And when you're smuggling, it's not generally just for your own use so much, is it? I don't know. It was a whole operation. So just to be clear, like, I probably wouldn't have him on my wall. But good dancer.
Hell of a dancer.
Hell of a dancer. Okay, where are we? I feel like you should lead the way on all this news, Alex, considering you pretty much wrote it.
JJ, but I don't remember what her new boyfriend is even called.
Oh, well,
this isn't the next piece of news of the year. JJ got a new boyfriend and revealed him in a Facebook Live that cost $3 something to attend.
That is so underrated. Like, as a whole love story, the fact that you could buy access to it for $3 something.
I think it was $3.49. His name's Hoani, and he works in fashion. I'm not sure exactly how they met, but for a while she had this secret boyfriend and she would just show bits of his body parts, like playing. Like gaming, you know, and she'd like deliver dinner to him and you just see his hands with the gaming console and so on. Eventually, quite recently, she held a public outing of sorts, which was this Facebook event. I don't know how many people...
Did we do it?
We
did anyone
didn't.
do it?
No, we didn't do it.
Why did we not
It's still
do it?
there.
That's fine.
Many a time we've talked about we should just front up with $3.49 and have a delayed watch.
It's still there. Maybe I'll watch it in like 5 years. But this is creators taking the power back.
It is. It 100% is. It's a direct-to-consumer media model.
I thought it would be she was saving it for a big woman's day, you know, blah, blah. No.
That's
she's
true,
saving it for
actually.
Facebook
I
Live.
reckon she'll be doubling down though. There'll surely be a Women's Day on the way soon.
I haven't seen it.
Well,
maybe
okay,
she
so let's
pitched it.
do some just quick maths. So what's the minimum for one of those Women's Day things? I feel like that's not a full cover, but it could be an
I
inset.
reckon it's like a 5.
5K?
Yeah.
So she would need to sell like 1,500 of
Yeah,
those things to be over and above. I mean,
But unless she approached Women's Day and they said no thank you. And, you know, $349 is better than no dollars.
hey, you know, we've got...
Budget for something?
No, but I feel like we've got cornies who work in that industry. I'd love to have more information about
Yeah.
it. Get at us.
Get at us, corns.
Can I just interrupt?
Yes.
I have a piece of Max Key news. that
Breaking.
I forgot to put in the Max Key bit.
Yep.
Could we roll this thing again?
Like and subscribe.
Max Key Corner. I know. I know. I'll never forget you.
Subscribe, like and subscribe.
This is great.
What do you got? What do you got?
Just briefly, I was at a party in Remuera and Max Key was there. He touched my hair and told me, "I love your flow." Which, I don't know, I just wouldn't do it if my dad made the headlines for pulling ponytails.
Or at all.
Anyway, I was too stunned to react at the time, but in case you want some info from a friend of the pod, smiley face.
Wow.
Interesting, isn't it?
So interesting.
So does that mean maybe it's actually a defensible kind of like some kind of condition that you're like
What's hereditary?
that you need therapy for to resist the urge to touch hair?
Love your flow.
I love
Wow.
the
Is
flow
it-
of your hair, or is it the way she was talking? Was she spitting rhymes? Like so many questions.
There's so many
A lot of
questions. Also,
I'll protect my sources at all costs, I'm afraid, though, so I cannot answer any more questions.
do you remember when Mad Chapman, the current spin-off editor, issued a public cease and desist to Max Key for stealing her look?
That was cool.
That was the time. That was around the music time. This
Yeah.
is the
And
thing.
Chloe was like, dead eyes,
Yeah.
blonde hair, bandana.
Didn't she go try buy one of his VIP packages or
Yes.
something in order to sort of be able to
did.
approach him
She was
about
a
it?
bloody renegade.
Yeah.
It's a different time for
That was-
journalism.
It was.
But look where she is now. Like, you know, maybe perhaps some young journos out there need to take some cues, see where they can end up.
Man, what a strange old media org.
We're a big fan of the fake legal letter. I feel like we still do it to this day.
Yeah.
We did one to the dead worm.
We
Fred,
did, yeah.
come up
That
later.
comes up later in this pod. Okay, moving on. So can we just quickly go back to JJ and her boyfriend because they've just recently I've been watching that. Like the Insta stories are all a go now. So she went from full hidden boy to he's all up in everything now. And she turns up at his family. They're having a big hungee, and it looks amazing. And she's documenting it all, and the camera's up in Uncle's face and everything the whole entire time. And everyone just looks a little bit shocked when the camera first comes on them, but then they just like fall into it. She must have a way about her as a sort of content creator. It's quite magical. She got very sunburnt, she was wearing a off the shoulder number, and just from sort of décolletage up, absolutely bright red.
Please, everyone, protect your décolletage this summer.
Yes, and sell your chats with your boyfriend for $3.49 on Facebook.
Another thing on JJ, just briefly before we move on. Dog's still called Kanye, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tough year to be a dog called Kanye.
Really, really tough. They didn't. Yeah.
You don't want to just be out yelling that name at the bar.
Oh dear. Vaz. Can't remember his surname. No, that is his surname, isn't it?
Alex Vaz.
Alex Vaz.
Yeah.
He's dating Brittany from Dancing with the Stars. This is just congratulations. We could see the
Only
chemistry.
good things happen to Dancing with the Stars hookups.
It took him how many shows before he finally found love? Because he did Heartbreak Island,
Well,
Three.
then Bachelorette, and then finally Dancing with the Stars.
Irony of him doing a show that's explicitly about not love.
Yeah.
To find love. Also, he was. I mean, I know that he persisted really late. Wasn't he eliminated? He was revived from the dead 4 times.
Oh, yeah, because of COVID.
Yeah, I think he was brought back because someone else went down with COVID.
Amazing to think of whether that couple would have happened if it hadn't been for the Crown,
I feel like it would have.
Do you think?
Yeah,
It was just a vibe from the top?
I think it was a vibe from the top. And also, what a lovely redemption arc, because he
was a villain.
He was a bit of a villain, Batch. It was a bit of a... It just in the,
was he a villain?
I think no, he wasn't a villain. He was just a bit of a... It was a bit of a mockery. There was a mockery made of him a little. He thought identical twins could be boy-girl
I wonder
twins.
who post-directed that episode. God, must be awkward if they were here.
It would be so awkward if that person was in the room. I must protect
It's all
my
just a
sources.
laugh, you
It's
know?
I mean, when I don't mean villain's probably not the right word, but
I think it's the right word.
he came across a bit of a dummy and a bit of I don't know, just self-interested. And then he comes on Dancing with the Stars and he comes across lovely. Lovely man.
But that's sort of the different formats of the show, right?
Yes.
You're just some clay that the post directors can
I
mould
know.
into whatever scarecrow they want.
I also just feel like Vaz felt very trapped and frustrated by his extreme handsomeness and height. And he found it a prison. People didn't understand the real him. And I think for on those two different reality shows, he was deeply misunderstood by the post directors as well as the audiences.
Do you mean misunderstood by the post directors or sort of misportrayed intentionally for entertainment?
No comment.
Shortland Street turned 30 this year. Oh, yeah.
Once again.
And I have to say, I don't know if it's a pandemic thing. It just doesn't feel like as big of a deal as when they turned 25 and erupted a volcano.
Yeah. That's because they erupted a volcano.
It's really hard
It was
to beat
so
that.
cool.
Like this volcano that you were in the TV
I was
show.
at Chris Warner's party when it happened. I had to run over to the TV and go, oh no,
Yeah.
looking at the news. It was so hard.
And then we went to this amazing Shortland Street 25th birthday party. Everyone was there, and we got to do VR. Remember, we wore VR headsets of a hospital scene, where you were lying in the hospital bed, and I started feeling really sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And TK was there?
TK was, and we got a photo with him.
We took a lot of, I say we, probably just me, a lot of emergency blankets
It's
that they were
weird.
giving out as
It's
party
weird to
favours.
think that you would take the tat from the party.
I've still got it. I'm going to put it in my Christchurch emergency box.
Yes, good.
My civil defence box. But then you
reckon
called me out for it in front of Sarah Potts, and I was so embarrassed.
We probably should be talking about the 30th, not the 25th.
Well, no, but I think it's a trick because I've also got Shortland Street 21st anniversary champagne. Methode champenoise, sorry. And it does feel like the 30th was just not, it wasn't as big of a an event. Maybe it was because we did Street Week about it, and the public were just like, no.
Was there a party? Because we got some tat, didn't we? We got sent a stethoscope and a little nursey watch thing. And
which we're all wearing to this day.
Yeah. Very handy. But there was
not a party.
Unless we weren't invited.
I mean, surely there was a party that we weren't
There would
invited
have been a
to.
party for some.
There was a podcast, remember? Oliver Driver went on the Fold.
It's a great podcast.
Pretty-
Great podcast.
There was for the ratings that Short and Street still allegedly gets, there was almost no crossover with people reading the Street Week on the spin-off. And I do just want to say, we worked really hard on that week.
Really
and
hard.
there's
It's a
some
cracking week.
really good stories. Go back and search Street Week.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's what everyone's doing while they're listening to us. Oh my God.
Phones out.
Do you want to do the next one?
What's the next one? I don't have the thing open.
Oh, okay. Because it's just I passed over to you and then I just took it back, you know?
No, it's
and I feel
fine.
like that was very rude of me.
What's the next one?
Baby-
Oh,
I
Baby
just say-
Zerin.
Baby Zerin.
Okay.
What do you want to say?
No, I just think we were just a bit mean about Sean Street then. It still lives. It's still really, really good. I'm the only one in my household who doesn't watch it religiously, and without wanting to get all fold on it, I'm like the older it gets, the more I'm like, this thing can never die, and like we need to do more to ensure that it should be like kids sit down at 9 o'clock every morning and watch Sean Street in high school. I just think that's something that should happen.
Look, I've got to read you out a text message that I just got for a start, but I don't think we were mean about Short and Street. I think we were mean about people not reading our coverage of it, not Short and Street itself.
I just don't think we gloried in the magnificence of what it was, is, and always hopefully will be.
My dad has texted me probably 5 times this whole year, 2 of them this morning. The first one this morning said, "Are you with Spotify?"
Wow.
And I said, "I sure am." And he's now said, "In what capacity?" So, difficult question to
Honestly,
answer.
valid
but,
question,
yeah.
Jane.
New boyfriend just dropped.
I see the rumours have made their way over to you, Dad.
Can I just say something else about Shortland Street before we move on? Had it not been for the Shortland Street 30th and the re-recording of the theme song, which featured a cameo from Tina Cross, we would have not got my interview where I vomited and fainted on the phone to her because I still had COVID.
Not on the phone, on a video Zoom call.
On a video Zoom call. Thank you, Jane.
Commitment.
Commitment.
Baby Zerin was born this year. This is, of course, Zach and Erin's baby, who they very disappointingly did not call Zerin.
Hey, there's still time.
There's still time. Harrison, I think they called her. Very cute baby. Very, very cute.
Is this how many official reality TV babies are there?
Did Green Angel have a baby this year as well?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It's a
I
list.
think we should be keeping a list, and they should have to go to like a special.
Meet our little miracle.
Yeah. When is a baby not a little miracle, by the way?
I mean,
There's so
Really,
many celebrities
really
have
so.
so many miracle babies, just for the it's such a
miracle like immaculate conception.
no. I mean, in the sense that every time there's a headline about a baby being born to celebrities, it's always a miracle baby. It's not just meet our baby. It's always meet our miracle baby. You know,
Vienna.
Vienna.
They've ruined the ABC thing. Jesus. Angel Brett Cashew. I thought it was going to be like Doris or something.
Well, what they've got now is VBAC, which is vaginal birth after cesarean.
Whoa.
You guys are whispering, and I don't know what's going on.
Duncan just whispered Black Doris in memoriam of that funny moment from The Bachelor
yes.
season 1.
Yes.
That was
It's fine to
really,
say.
really, really crazy.
And then
moment.
I followed it up with a really specific.
do you cracking joke
Well,
again?
wasn't it? It was just vaginal birth after cesarean, which is VBAC.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they've got now. So,
Do you do that?
well,
After cesarean?
as in like you might like have a cesarean for your first birth, and then you might go for a VBAC.
Oh, that's
Try and
interesting.
Pop one out the next time
Yeah,
out of
we're back.
the traditional.
It's
Orifice.
rare. Most people that have cesareans, you have to continue to have cesareans.
It's not
but
true,
if it's
Samuel.
next
It's not true.
Oh my
It's not true, Samuel.
Son of a midwife.
son of a midwife.
It's not most.
son of a
Sister who
midwife.
had 2 cesarean sections.
Speaking as someone who's the only person in this room who's birthed children, I can tell you. that they actually very much encourage vaginal birth after caesareans. Even twins. They try and get you to push out twins after you've had a caesarean. So they
Big hospital.
And
caesareans are more expensive.
That's great.
this
Okay.
is great. This is a good pod. Can I just say?
There's a lot happening. It's a lot of tangents.
I don't care what the audience says. This is a good pod.
I don't care what the New Zealand Podcast Awards
I
says.
don't care what the numbers say.
Speaking of which, I know we don't have a shit show against a shit show, but can you please vote for the Real Pod and the
It's just
listener's
not worth
choice?
trying. Lucy is doing so much special
Is she?
pleading in the
Oh,
newsletter.
God.
I mean, and look, fair play. Like they would win anyway,
They
but it
won
just
it last
feels
year.
unstoppable.
Yeah, they've
Well, it
got
should be
international.
open.
They've got international audience.
What? Grande. They've got
What?
Olivia Rodrigo.
What they should be doing
Take
is
Olivia
asking.
Rodrigo.
On the Instagram.
Bloody
followers,
hell.
Yeah.
They should be asking their listeners to vote for their friends, the Real Pod, the
Yeah.
little pod that
Give
couldn't.
us something.
Anything.
The little pod that's still going.
Yeah. Thanks very much. We paved the way.
Can we make that our slogan?
Isn't there something like a we made the boots so you could walk in them or something? I just made it up.
Just not true, though.
No.
Well, we started.
We made
invented
the flappy
podcasts.
shoe so you could,
So you
walk
could know
funny.
what not to do. Okay. Chisholm rents his way out of Celebrity Treasure Island.
I put this one in, see?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Well, I don't have the information in front of me. Maybe someone could, while I just sort of do some filler, someone could bring up the offending post. Basically, Matt Chisholm, I think he's been a huge part of the Celebrity Treasure Island revival. Like his commentary, the extremely OTT and earnest commentary of the competitions, plus his amazing vernacular, and just his general energy level. And you sort of felt like, because he'd already kind of quit television once to go and live off the land or whatever, and it felt like that was just going to be his thing. And yet, it seems like behind the scenes there was trouble brewing, and there was just this really, really quite full-on Instagram post which came out a few weeks ago in the aftermath of filming of the as yet unaired Fans versus Faves season, which is coming early next year. So hopefully one of you has been able to use the internet fast enough to read us the context.
Okay, well, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I can give you...
One of the whole thing.
Because I haven't got the whole thing in front of me. I've just got the thing that paraphrases bits and pieces and takes quotes. Anyway, the news, basically, yeah.
Thing.
It's good that it finally has a name.
Chisholm put to rest any rumours by announcing his departure from both CTI and Survivor NZ in a Facebook post only visible to his friends list, which I think is public, is it? So, anyone, alleging the reason behind his shock disappearance from the popular shows. I've been told I can control the narrative, he said, and say I've decided to stand down from the role to spend more time with family, or something similar. But that would be dishonest. I've been let go from the job. None of us are indispensable. Remember that when you choose to spend your limited amount of spare time working hard for an employer instead of spending it with your family.
It's quite a weird one,
Yeah.
if I'm honest.
What it's saying is they fired me.
Yeah, but it's also saying, like, I made the terrible mistake of working for money instead of spending time with my family for no money.
And for
now
no good reason,
And now
apparently.
I found out that this gig that was transparently, gig to gig is now ended. I don't know. It's obviously horrible to lose a job, but there's just something off about that.
It's showbiz, baby.
It is showbiz, baby.
And of course, Jane Daniels is the new host of Treasure Island. Bree's still there. Bless her. She just won TV Personality of the Year. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
Congrats. I hope so is she going to become like the alpha host?
I don't know. Is she going to become the Chizzo? Is she going to?
She has to be the
going to be
Chizzo.
smashing the eggs on her head. Why? What I was going to say, eyes agape. That's it.
I mean,
Stop doing that. They stopped doing that. Tapu.
Is it to touch your eyes?
To
To put eggs.
Food on your head.
Okay, so me holding my eyes open like that's fine though.
Yeah, that's
fine. Okay.
Definitely
I mean,
doing that.
it doesn't look fine. I mean, based on we saw Jaden and Bree do a wee appearance at the TVNZ upfronts, and based on that, I feel like Brie has to be the alpha. Has to do the commentary, has to step up into that role. Not that Jaden might be great. I mean, I'm sure he will, but there was definitely that's a really hard job, and it's absolutely a requirement of the show.
But hang on. So are you saying that she keeps on doing what she is doing now, which is the funny quirk?
No, I think she has to go to do...
I reckon the job she does is harder. She's got to be on the fly with the gags.
No, but I think commentary's really difficult.
And making it seem interesting when they're just shoveling sand around for hours and all that.
Yeah.
He's very good at it.
He's so good at it.
Something weird must have happened to let him go.
We've heard things, right?
I've heard things.
I've heard murmurs, but nothing
Nothing concrete.
Nothing concrete.
Need to stand it up. If only there were some entertainment journalists in the room with a mandate.
No siree. Okay. This is definitely yours.
This is me. This was a huge, exciting moment for me. The Taika and Rita tour of New Zealand.
I put this in as well.
Did you?
Yeah, so that's how much, rare appearance in the doc.
Thank you, Duncan.
But you're right, you owned the story.
They were here together. They arrived, I think they were here for 48 hours.
It had a sort of unruly tourist energy.
It did, which is why I wrote a story for the spin-off, Please Welcome Rita Ora, New Zealand's new unruly tourist, because they landed...
Good original thought.
Yeah, so I don't know where you would have got that from. Don't read your own website.
I did read the story. I just forgot.
And they arrived in Wellington. They went for brunch. She smoked very thin cigarettes somewhere around Oriental Bay, and it was just reported rigorously, mostly by staff, which I really appreciated. I want to be clear, when I write stories like this, I am not sneering upon celebrity news. I'm #grateful. I'm #grateful every day that we have people following celebrities.
Well, look, Wellington stuff's beat though. Let's not forget.
Well,
that's where their main newsroom is. You know.
It is. I've also heard that there was some disquiet in the Stuff newsroom about the extent to which they were, reporters were following them around and reporting every beat of their
not enough
behaviour. Well, no,
everyone out, all hands on deck.
No, I mean it should have been a whole newsroom mobilised, stake out the city, obviously, but there was definitely a sense of, is this what we're actually doing? When I'm absolutely with you, Alex. There is a really important news job of Parliament and that, but also things can get dreadfully dull in New Zealand if we don't just get a bit silly about some rando couple every now and then,
Also, when there's megastars walking around Wellington, all you have to do is open your eyes and you'll see them. That place is tiny.
Scarlett Johansson told me to fuck off on the Oriental Bay waterfront once.
What did you do?
I was 13 or 14, and it wasn't me specifically. I was in a group of people.
Let's
that
not
got
have all
told
the
to fuck
excuses.
off.
Let's just get to the.
Oh my god!
We just went up and said hi to her, but she was with her baby and walking around. She just went fuck off.
Oh,
wow!
Did you actually go? Did you say hi?
I didn't.
Okay.
But one of my friends did.
Just hello.
So a group of hood rats.
Was it just a hello?
Yeah, it was just a hello, but she was with her kid, and I think there was at the height of when she was being harassed, in public. She was incognito. She had a hoodie and glasses on. She was just pushing her stroller, and she had an obvious security guard behind her.
Well, he wasn't doing a very good job, was he?
No, he wasn't.
This might have been the same era.
That's
when
true.
we danced with her.
We did. Did we dance with her?
Dance with her.
Did we dance with her?
We danced near her.
We danced near her. And when we attempted to dance nearer her, there was a sort of a closure of the gates.
And a lot of security, doing comms to each other.
Well, they'd learned, you see, from earlier in the day when security hadn't been what can happen. A bunch of 13-year-olds can come up and say hello, which they definitely don't want happening. So as soon as they're seeing bloody Duncan Grieve and Alex Casey shimmying their way over, they're closing ranks.
Two basically 13-year-olds.
Anyway, it was a very thrilling weekend having Taika and Rita here. I actually did their kind of eating tour on my next trip down to Wellington when I went to the World of Wearable Arts and dined at the same at Egmont Street Eatery. And I saw the very place where they sat.
Did you have any very thin
cigarettes? Didn't have any thin ciggies.
Wow.
Not the full
know where to get them
then.
these days, God's sake.
I feel like that might be a Rita Ora direct import.
True. And I wonder, without all this hype and hoopla,
Hubbub.
what...
It's a real Dolly Jelly energy about it.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
that was funny.
That was real good.
It's just like your eyes were completely blank. It just seemed like you were like glitching out.
That's really how I feel 2/3 of the time right now.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I didn't mean to derail you.
Without the hubba. Would we have got Rita opening the World Cup? You know, it just begs the question. You know?
And I wasn't at that game. I was in a different country, Gold Coast. But did she know that she was opening the World Cup? It felt like there was a real kind of just a veil of confusion.
She had no clue. Well, she posted afterwards, was great to play the final. And then had to edit it. And Taika, equally didn't seem to know what he was doing. I think at the last minute he decided he'd come out and intro her. And it was kind of really confusing because the Pātea Māori Club performed first, and I don't know, it was just a bit of a thing. But now they're they hosted the EMAs together. They've just done a Vogue 24 Hours with Taika and Rita. If they ever come back, I'm hitting the road.
Yeah.
This is big news.
Big time.
The next one's yours as well. Closely linked.
What could it possibly be?
Alex saw a record number of celebrities in the wild.
Oh, yeah, does this matter?
Well, for the real
I
pod.
always do. I've got good eyes.
It must be your eyes because, also it's your habits.
Are you out more? You walk a lot.
I'm out more.
She's a mall lady.
I'm a mall lady.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time in Mount Eden, Newmarket, which is a big celeb hub, and the CBD recently.
But also, I think it's the malls that you go to. You don't go to crap old St. Luke's. It's
St.
caving
Luke's.
in on itself.
Which is where you'll see Colin.
Yeah.
Is that doxing?
No, he talks about it.
He's on the Mount Albert bloody community group. I think he's the czar or the mayor or
He's
something.
basically the Wayne of the Mount Albert community Facebook page.
This is true. No, my most recent one, I was in the CBD, and I swear to God, I saw Thomas and Mackenzie at the coffee club. And I know in this city where we're all connected, we're all close, someone will be able to confirm this for me. I'm asking you.
We believe
now.
you. We believe you. What surprises me about this is the coffee club, to be honest with you.
Well, absolutely.
It's very
hard to find
expensive establishment.
And there's not many good places to go in the city. If you want a quick coffee,
it is bad there now.
it's really bad.
We need to get Wayne Brown on the job.
I think it's on the pod.
He's going to get him to fix it.
It'd be
We
amazing.
get Gary Brown on the pod.
That's true. Well, I don't know if we want that.
Should we call my dad on the pod and see what he wants to know about Spotify?
Yes, please.
Wow.
The problem with my dad is that he's very, very, very hard of hearing. So I might have to just yell.
This is going to be really great.
Really great.
Man.
So good. No, he won't be able to hear it ringing. That'll be the problem.
It's too busy jamming
Can you call
out.
Jane,
Oh, hi, Dad. How are you?
what's up?
What was your question about Spotify for?
Can you text me?
You were asking
I
about...
can't hear very well.
Okay. All right, then.
Okay, thanks.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Great content.
Dad, text him.
And what do I say? In what capacity? How do I answer that? I am a user of Spotify. I have an account.
You got some
to
admin
listen to
access,
things.
though, let's be honest.
I don't think that's what. I don't think he's curious about my
wants to launch a
podcaster page.
podcast.
Maybe he wants to know about your rap.
He definitely wants to know about your rap. What would your dad's rap be? What would his top 5 be?
It would be the Reader's Digest collection of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Actually, probably 40s, 50s, 60s, to be fair.
Yes, Dad.
Yeah.
Love this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, Alex, you
Okay.
see famous
No, that's
people.
all. I've
You're the
seen
only
them on
one.
the
But
list. It's
just
been a good.
reel them
It's been
off.
a good year for it.
It's been a
great
bounteous year.
Just briefly, Lionel at the bottle shop. I mentioned Thomas and Mackenzie. Beck Runga and Cody Nielsen at the mall. Joe Nafahu outside the Pelican Club.
that's
Walking
right.
past, not going in. Lady Six at the food court. And I think I got served by Chloe Grace Moretz at Recycle Boutique. But that one feels impossible.
Do you find it hard staying optimistic with all the financial news in the media? I'm Bernard Hickey, and on my podcast, When the Facts Change, I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of economics in Aotearoa. So join the conversation every Friday on When the Facts Change, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with KiwiBit.
Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, senior writer at The Spin-Off. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spinoff. You can help us keep all of The Spinoff's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
On to Duncan's chain.
Is that on the news?
It just says Duncan got a chain and it's not bolded, so you can be forgiven for not realising it was a headline, but it's there. It's subtle, like your chain.
Look, I'm going through something at the moment. I feel like it's my last chance to change anything about myself that I'm unhappy with. And I've always wanted a chain. And I watched Love Island and I decided to get a chain. And there's been a lot of chat. Like, I feel like other people are allowed to change things and that's nice. Well, but I do acknowledge it was a bigger chain than as usual for a first chain. And I'm not wearing it now. I got told to take it off at the netball. It got real slippery.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is this when you had to give it to me, or did this happen again?
No, I gave it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm trying to figure out how to be a guy who sometimes wears a chain, and I haven't done it yet. But I'm happy to bring the Real Pod with me on my journey.
I love the chain. I'm so on board the chain. I know we were probably the first people to rip you to shreds over the chain, but we didn't mean it.
I know. I'm only not wearing it because I keep forgetting because I have to take it off for sports.
Do you put it in a safe?
I want to.
Yeah.
But I know now I put it in a little box, which
don't
could
say
be
where. Don't say where.
anywhere.
Could be anywhere. Could be anywhere.
Nice safe.
In breaking news, I think my dad is confusing Spotify with The Spinoff.
Oh, Dad. Hey, very similar revenues.
Save many zeros. Okay, into weird food news. So that was all the kind of celebrity news. And now we're into food news.
This was an old one I found. I went back through our notes from the start of the year. God, we used to take better notes at the start of the year. Shout out Tara Ward.
Oh yeah. This is a great story.
New Zealand woman buys a tobacco pouch and finds it full of mouldy bread.
Yep.
This was from February, I think. Feels forever ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Everything in the past feels better.
How does this? So it happens because it's not something that's gone completely awry at the tobacco plant.
It's a scam.
It's a scam. Someone's bought some tobacco, emptied out all the good stuff, chucked some bread in it, and returned it and gone, oh, whoops, I accidentally bought the wrong brand or something. You know?
It's the exact same squishy texture.
Yeah.
$75 pouch of Port Royal.
75? Is that how much
That's
a 50
crazy,
gram,
isn't it?
50 gram goes for now?
Crazy.
That's probably why.
Was that a 30 gram?
That's probably why Rita Ora's rolling her thing
Thin
so
cigs.
thin, because it's cost of
No,
tobacco.
surely she's not rolling them. I've got my theory is that it's
just making a bloody callback. That's all.
Gauloises. You know those like sophisticated
Yeah,
French
I know,
ones.
Just trying to make a joke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It wasn't very good.
Or Davidoffs. You remember them?
Yeah,
from
I
back in the
do.
day?
And they also make smelly cologne,
They do.
cool water.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
More on the scam. So apparently it's a sneaky switcheroo when they try and buy tobacco using an expired card, and then when there's a bit of confusion, they swap the packets over at the counter, so it just happens live.
It's magician work.
It's magician work.
Deserve it, to be honest. Deserve it. My question is, did she try smoking the mouldy bread? Because if she just went, fuck it, can't be bothered taking it back, I'm just going to give this a hone. You know, I got my papers, I got my filter, I may as well just use what's in here. And maybe it's great. That could be an alternative, much cheaper, you know, and it could be a quitting mechanism. So you heard it here first.
Is this sort of the scientific method in action?
Yes. Yep. Yes. Allegedly.
Science Corner. Lucy Kelly, just verify that.
Next story is one of my favourite stories, not only on the spin-off for this year, but just for the year in the world in general, and it happened in our very own Hobsonville Point in Auckland. Tell us more, Alex.
The enduring mystery of the Hobsonville ham. This was a story I worked on, I think it was in February or March. A $2,400 ham from a tiny village in Spain was found on the side of the road in Hobsonville Point.
This is truly a
This
global
is-
story.
This should have gone globaler.
You reckon?
I
I did get a couple of international emails because I think it did go on Reddit somehow and went somewhere. But some people emailed me from Texas who were like, something similar happened here. But it wasn't a ham, it was like whiskey. They're like, someone left whiskey on my porch. And I was like,
It's not
that
the
just seems
same.
like-
It's not the same as a visual of like, because we're not talking about a couple of slices from the deli.
No, this is a
The-
massive cured leg. It takes months to cure it.
This
It
is-
comes in like a velvet guitar case. Like,
It's jamon.
jamon.
It's not ham.
It's imported, like
It's-
specifically in
it's
by an
toasted.
individual. It probably has papers.
What's-
It's
They
this
would
whole
definitely have
thing.
papers.
What's the weight of it?
Heavy.
Yeah, I reckon it's three kegs.
Heavy.
Size wise, like the size of what age child? would you
Like
say?
a violin.
Big.
Big.
Think of a big old pig, Jane.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't think you're
Are
thinking
you
hard
imagining?
enough.
I'm
Big old
imagining
pig?
big old pig, and then I'm just like chopping off right at the leg bit, and there
Yeah.
it is, and then putting it in my little velvet violin case.
And then it's
No,
in-
because it's got to be
in some
cooked
shrubs.
first.
okay, I'm just for the visual, and then I'm
Yeah.
dumping it on the pavement. Wasn't me, by the way.
Wow. We've got this on the record.
But it is a mad yarn.
It was a crazy mystery. So I interviewed a whole bunch of people in the area. The person who found it, his dog found it on their walk and kind of dragged it out of the bushes. He eventually took it home and bought a stand for it because these things have to be
They're
displayed.
special,
They can't just
yeah.
sit, they're massive. It was this big centerpiece on his table. At one point, it fell off the table and put a hole in the wall. It was so heavy. The dog enjoyed a few slices. He enjoyed a few slices.
Because it doesn't need to be refrigerated. This thing, it's cured.
It's cured.
It's cured. It's like that's what you pay
needing to be
for.
refrigerated.
I talked to different specialists in these sorts of meats across the world. I went to the brand. I emailed the people in Spain. Mucho confusion. Still don't know what happened.
The mucho confusion. I like how you use Spanish there.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
really good.
Sorry, it just comes naturally to me. I got back in touch recently for this podcast. I did some follow-up reporting. So I emailed the man who found the ham, and he confirmed they held on to it for a month or so, and then kind of chipping away at it. But this is massive. Like, you have this for a
get
massive
sick of it,
wedding or
wouldn't
something.
it? You get sick of it.
And then he threw a massive pizza party and got all the neighbourhood to come over and all his friends to try and eat as much of the ham.
And he didn't invite
on
you.
pizzas. Oh, yeah, he didn't. He's got my number.
That would have
In my
been a
email.
great follow-up. Ref.
Raf. He said that barely scratched the surface. He delegated custodial duties of the ham to a friend who took the whole leg to his place and made good use of it for the remainder of the year. I heard from him a month ago that it had finally been disposed of. So this is now 6 months, 7 months later.
Yeah.
We never found out who bought it nor why it was disposed of. It will forever remain a mystery. And I said, is there anything else, any other wisdom you want to pass on from this chapter? And he said, the real ham were the pizzas we made along the way. So take that with you in 2023.
I love how it's just
Really
like
good
giving
sentence.
you a little quote, He's giving you a lovely little grab. It's
Yeah.
great. I wonder if you got there and you shaved some off, just some little shavings, and you popped that in your backy pouch and then you rolled it. Because it's actually, I know it's expensive ham, but it's probably cheaper than
No.
tobacco. For how much you get, that thing would last you a long time.
by weight, but not by volume.
Okay. Okay.
Great yarn.
Thank you. I was very proud of that. Can I also give some funny spin-off backstory? I had to rush that story up because it was International Women's Day and we didn't have any women writing that day. So man was like, can you please finish that ham yarn?
For International Women's
So I
Day.
finished it and it was published on International Women's Day
That
2022.
is the cherry on top of the ham. Absolutely. Love
And that's
that.
just feminism, baby.
That is feminism. It's got to have a working definition, finally.
Back to the boys, though. Let's remember Doug the Potato. So we were trying to figure out if Doug the Potato was this year's news or last year's news, and it turns out Doug straddled the years because last year I specifically remember talking about Doug the Potato and Superpod as one of the big stories of the year. That was when we believed that Doug was still a potato. Come March this year, we had since discovered Doug the Potato is a gourd.
Earth-shattering.
And not even necessarily a big gourd, because I don't even know how big gourds can get. Sizable gourd.
Surely big. Hey, is that a gourd? Samuel, what is that in front of you?
So this is a kohlrabi.
Oh, is that a type of radish?
It's a
radish.
It's a
radish. Radish.
But just for context, there's a big vegetable thing on Samuel's desk.
Not gourd-like.
Looks a little bit cabbagey almost.
It's closely related to the cabbage.
Okay.
It's from Germany. They're grown here locally in New Zealand. We had a podcast earlier where we had Wendy, lovely Wendy from Perfectly Imperfect, who export not totally perfect fruits and vegetables around New Zealand, and this is the kohlrabi.
Wow.
It's gorgeous.
I think it's
heavy.
beautiful.
I'd like to see it cut open to see its innards.
I've got some photos. I've Googled it. I had to Google the name.
I'm going to go ahead and say that it's
weighty. Wonder if you chop that up into little pieces and put that in your backy pouch. If you can smoke that.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is quite... It's like a dense cabbage.
But
Does
it's
it have
not
leaves?
leafy. It's completely solid on the inside. You're supposed to. Actually, this is kind of embarrassing. Wendy said to me, I was like, well, how do I cook this? How do I put this in my food? And she said, oh, it's just like a carrot. So I tried to take a big bite out of it. Because you know how you can eat carrots raw, but you can't do that with the kohlrabi. So
You should have
so
told
you
us
gotta
that
cook it?
before we put our hands all over it in these times. Can you see the bite mark? I think that's it there at the top.
Oh.
No. Don't worry.
Hey, this is good radio.
This is good radio.
good.
Anyway, it's just important. There's an interesting veg in the studio. And it's not often.
No.
I'm
It's
going to
not
throw
often
it
we
across
have
the
that.
studio.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Sorry.
Oh, good catch. Okay.
But yes, that was... Doug was not who claimed to be.
No. And that was that made international news,
It
didn't it?
did.
It's embarrassing.
I mean, also, Doug would not have been, I think, as viral had it not been for his amazing owner, Colin, who was
Yeah.
the mouthpiece for Doug, who appeared, I think, on that funny show, that Morning Britain show. Good Morning Britain. I don't know.
That sounds right. Is that the one with Piers Morgan?
Nah. It's got that other guy who might be a New Zealander who's got white hair. Anyway, he appeared on that show and said, as you walk along through life, these shitty sandwiches, someone chucks one in your lunchbox.
I don't know. I think net positive for Colin overall.
Massively.
You know what I mean? If he'd dug up Doug and gone, oh, that's a big gourd, and then it would never have made the news. He would never have had 6 months of excitement. Wouldn't have been in touch with Guinness, all of that. So, yeah, ultimately disappointing that Doug was not a potato, and the board's biggest at that. But
doesn't it feel like
good little ride.
it speaks to our national character?
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a huge hubbub over a giant potato that turned out to not be a potato, but still feels like it sort of represents us.
I mean, you know how in every reality show there is someone who represents the real world. Doug being a gourd absolutely represents.
Yeah, he
the
real
pod.
potted being a potato.
And Doug slowly kind of rotting over these few months, appearing on
being walked around in a pram and stuff.
Getting increasingly, you can see he is really shiny in this kind of scary way. And by the end of it, he's wearing sunnies. It's just awesome.
It was almost like it was like the lifespan of a celebrity in miniature,
True.
probably got stuck into the drink, lost their special magic, but still had all of the fame, and
It'd be scandalous if I feel like Colin, having gotten drunk on the glory of the big potato, now started submitting potatoes, and then they did some requisite testing on them and found them to be artificially produced, steroid potatoes, because he wants it back. He wants the glory back.
Yeah, we need to get. Yeah, I mean, Colin deserves it though.
He does.
Fair play.
Just turn a blind eye. That's a potato joke too, because potatoes have eyes. Okay, and the end of many delicious snacks this year in 2022. Ernest Adams as a whole bloody slice brand.
Devastating.
Is the whole brand gone or just the slices? At least the slices.
I think the whole brand is gone.
It's a developing story.
The whole brand's gone. No more raspberry slice for your morning teas.
Is it because they looked into Ernest Adams' past and found... So it seems inevitable,
There are allegations against Ernest Adams.
Not quite as earnest as he.
No, I don't know. I will
claimed.
say that if you look at their Google reviews, they take a sharp turn around 2 or 3 years ago, and people were a lot of allegations around cookies giving them diarrhea, all sorts of stuff like that. It's all in the story.
Google reviews are really ruining things, aren't they? They
are. But it's funny content.
It is. Earwaves, the mentholy type chewing gum.
Another great sadness.
That's crazy, because those are really powerful chewing gum.
Those were medicine.
Yeah.
I thought.
They tasted like medicine.
Pods.
Yeah, this is a contentious one, because Samuel reckons pods are back.
I've seen pods recently.
That doesn't mean they're back. Pods have long been expired in dairies.
Okay.
Very rarely you'd find a packet of pods that's in date, which maybe speaks to why they were discontinued. But I would argue there's probably still pods to be got. They probably expired, 8 months ago.
So I've got a theory about all these kind of RIP foodstuffs, and that marketing foodstuffs is expensive, right? And especially once they're a sort of a staple which has just sat on the shelves for decades. And if you've got them as part of your repertoire, you can force a surge in sales by announcing that you're getting rid of them. And then you just sit on it for like a year, and then you announce you're bringing it back, and boom. Like, there's just no part of me that doesn't think that big confectionery doesn't have a list and a future schedule of deletions and then reappearances to take the free, social media and legitimate news media chatter and turn it into some sweet, sweet bucks. Samuel's got something.
Just a sidebar, pods were discontinued in 2021.
Oh,
embarrassing.
That's the same as this year, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's it. But
in a lot of ways,
the expired pods news. The news is expired, and like the pods are imitating life. We are talking about it now.
This is art.
Again.
Fuck, it's good to have someone acknowledge that we're doing art.
Listen,
I think we'd be better regarded if we were art,
Yeah.
If this whole thing was art.
I know your theory, but how many things have actually come back? Tangy fruits, no. Snifters, no. There's been a big uproar about all of these things.
Came back, but that was like 10 years in the making.
The caramel one?
Caramilk?
Caramilk.
Should have.
I will look into. I won't look into it, but someone might.
The snacks, RIP. They're a good snack.
They'll come back.
Goody Gumdrop ice cream just seems ridiculous.
That is 100% coming back. I guarantee
Should
you.
never have gone away.
So help me
why
God,
would you
strike
do that?
me dead if that has not reappeared before 2030. That's like a free license to literally murder me for a real pod listener if come 2030 Goody Gumdrops haven't returned.
I'm going to look into the legalities of that. Okay, crazy animals. The big worm. Dead Fred.
Dead Fred. It was in Christchurch, wasn't it? A little boy found a very long dead worm in his backyard.
It was sort of the Doug the potato of worms.
Yeah, but it actually was a worm.
Yeah.
In fact, we all thought it must have been some crazy kind of species of worm. Just a regular worm. It was that's just a big earthworm.
Worms can be really big.
What? That? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He reckons it was a metre this
Yeah, no, I know that it was giant. Like, I remember seeing it. And I remember the controv, like, even into spin-off controv, where Stuart damned it, and then Ellen, the author of our legitimately so good sort of science and environment newsletter, said it was actually good. And I was like, you know what? I've been swayed.
We also issued another legal apology. Actually, Spinoff apologises for the big word.
Yeah,
which was
that was appropriate.
Drafted up by our legal team, because we said what sparked this is the allegation in live updates that the worm should be sent to hell, which in hindsight was perhaps unfair.
It was maybe a bit much.
Hell is underground, though, right? And is that not where worms reside?
Well, it might have been on its way.
Quite far down, but
just going home.
The earthworm supporting community were not happy about that statement, right? And so, on some reflection, we issued an apology. All of this is available along with everything we've ever published on our website, by the way. So
just start clicking your way through it.
Again, over the summer holidays, stuck for something to get the kids around. Let's just have a clicking competition.
Yeah.
We have to spend a minimum 90 seconds on each page and do scroll down. It's a fun game.
That's actually a really good idea.
Sign up to members.
Click the set.
Yeah.
Click the set.
If you like funny stuff and good interesting stories.
If you like the real pod, Well, no, but or if we get enough members, we'll stop. if you really hate the Real Pod, because that's the other alternative.
This was our advertising theory. Remember, we were like, so we were going to convince people to pay us to not talk about their brands.
Yeah, true.
And now we're doing it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh dear, we have fun.
A bull survived an unexpected 80-kilometre trip down a flooded river. That's a long way.
It's a long way.
It's practically to Hamilton from Auckland, isn't it? I don't know. That's not true.
It's pretty close. It's closer
Close
than
enough.
Chris Luxon guessed at the superannuation payment.
That's true.
Sorry.
I'm going for Prime Minister. Anyway, tell us about this one.
No, that's it. I just put it in there.
A bull went for a lovely long swim. It was washed away during some floods. And Tony Peacock said his 18-month-old bull was swept into the Maruia River over the 10-metre high fall. Oh, buried the lead. Over the 10-metre high falls, down the Buller River and avoided being swept out to sea.
And it lived.
Yeah.
Did it?
It didn't get made into like a
Bull
delicious
survives.
ham.
Wow.
I feel like someone should option this for like a Disney movie or something.
Yeah, it's got all the makings.
Bull.
Whoa, they've already done a bull one though, haven't they?
Have they?
Yeah.
Which one?
Ferdinand.
Great movie.
DreamWorks though.
Oh, okay. So this could be Disney's answer to that.
That's the Katzenberg one, eh?
Underrated
Yes.
movie, by the way.
And down the Buller River.
Yeah, I know. How
Ending
ridiculous.
at bulls.
Okay, Smeagol gravel maggot.
Just another worm, you know? Well, not a worm. Sorry. I'll get in trouble again. Sea slug.
From Big Maggot. No.
Sea slug. Call it by its name. This
Call
was
it by its scientific name, please.
a new maggot dropped.
Smeagol Clemoy,
Oh.
named after the Lord of the Rings
French.
character.
Smeagol hilaris. I thought.
That's sort of our vibe on the podcast, isn't it?
We're pretty
Smeagol
Smeagol.
hilaris.
Come on, let's go to the party. That is a very, very
Wow.
deep, very, very deep cut.
He was probably still harassing Scarlett Johansson when that happened. Yeah, that's basically it.
No, Clark.
They found a new one.
Oh, sorry.
No, they've
What the hell is it? Don't you have a meeting to go
they
to
found a
Duncan?
new maggot
Yeah, I'm
this
real
year.
late for my meeting.
They discovered it first in 1979. Was not seen again until 2022.
That's
Very
when
small
me and
maggot.
Jane
Looks
were
like
first discovered.
Looks like a Goulian chocolate. But
Don't
eat
confuse
it.
the two. Clark Gayford is hanging out in the sand with a cat and burying the cat in the sand. This is very recent news.
Wow, I didn't even know about this news.
Oh, you gotta watch
Breaking.
the vid.
We did talk about it actually, and then you
Okay,
said, "Does the
probably.
cat like going in there?" And Alex was like, "Yes." to go in there, and it jumps
Probably
in.
showed you
You
that.
were there, Duncan.
You were definitely there.
What's wrong?
It's real cute. At the moment, I'm going to give you a live commentary. At the moment, Alex is showing Duncan a video on the internet.
Not
I
video.
can't see
Picky,
it. It's
picky.
picky. I can't see it from here. So my commentary is of them
It's
looking
just
at
the cat
it.
in the sand.
I
Do
think
you
the
like
cat's. I don't like that. I think the cat's going, what the fuck?
No,
Clark?
you got to see the video.
You gotta watch the video.
You got to
It
see the
jumps in
video.
there. It's
Jumps
so
and loves
excited.
it. Loves it. And it's not just Clark. Like this cat does this for other people as well. It's like a thing you go do. You find the cat, bury it in the sand.
Oh, we're going
And
great.
that is the biggest stories in the news for this year, guys.
Nothing else to mention.
The news. Yeah.
Queen died, you know.
But this is the thing. This is what we're doing. We cover the stories that no one else will, right?
Or that everyone else has
Everyone's
covered already.
too scared
They're
to
too
cover.
scared. Bark, bark, bark,
Yeah,
bark, bark.
absolute chooks.
Yeah.
So give us some members' money to keep being able to tell those stories that would otherwise get left
All
untold.
the stories that have been
Or-
told in Odd Stuff.
Yeah. That's some underrated part of stuff. Like
Incredible part.
Is that still on the homepage?
I have to Google it to find it. I don't even know.
You can go into their web,
The Matrix.
the Matrix,
yeah.
the site directory type thing.
What merch would you rather have? Sideswipe t-shirt or an Odd Stuff t-shirt?
Odd stuff. Odd stuff.
Ah, I almost think Sideswipe.
Where are you? Where are you? I actually, the real part.
No, no way.
Why would you
An
not want
Odd
real
Stuff t-shirt would be so cool. And so would a Sideswipe t-shirt.
Okay, and would a real
A
part
real t-shirt would be fine. Like, it'd be great if, like, the alternative was, like, I don't know, trying to think of who to insult.
Bomber?
Like a Oh, well, yeah, like the working group T-shirt.
I nearly bought. I think I sent you a photo of it. I found a T-shirt for the civilian in an op shop.
That's right, you did.
I should have bought that.
Yeah.
They should go on the
They should go on the
museum.
muse.
Doesn't the platform have T-shirts?
They do. They've
Yeah.
got merch to help keep the platform
Platformed.
to stop it being deplatformed.
That
They've
is-
actually got a members thing. If you don't like our
advertise.
podcast,
Oh my God. I thought we said if you don't like our podcast, give us money and we'll stop doing it. There's a lot of confusing messaging. We're going to work on it.
Give
And
us money.
Well,
please.
Full
please.
stop.
We'll be back next week if you guys don't pay us. So, yeah.
If there's not like a flood of new members demanding that we cease and desist.
We will be back. Is it the Real Pot Awards next week?
It is the Real
Has
Pot
to be.
Awards.
Oh, man, there is going to be more looking back at the year. Cannot wait.
Can we get some of those the little
Chickens,
Yeah.
Doves.
Hooters.
party blowers.
I think so.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Samuel. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Talo for Lover. I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spin-Off. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spin-Off member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spin-Off. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spin-Off member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spin-Off Podcast Network.